All right. So you're going to pass your real estate exam, right? And how are you going to do that? By reviewing questions, national and state questions. So that's what we're doing today. National questions that apply to all 50 states, and then Texas questions and answers. And if you're watching the replay, go ahead and fast forward as we are here to help students participate during the presentation, during the class. Okay. All right. And if anybody's watching on Facebook, make sure you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and give StreamYard permission to post your name on here, just like Jaylene's World. Hi, Jaylene. All right. So as you all know, it takes a lot of practice, a lot of time to prepare for your exams, and you've got to do it every day. So for those who, took their exams recently and didn't pass, it's, get your attitude, your mindset back in place to be confident about yourself. Don't worry about the future. That brings fear. And reorganize yourself, focus, find a quiet place to study, and do it every day. Okay, here we go. Hi, Lenise. Okay, I forgot Melanie's or something like that, right? Okay, here we go. Number 36. These are national questions. A broker obtains an exclusive listing to sell a house, but after 2 months, he abandons the listing because the seller is too demanding and hot-tempered. What can the seller do in this situation? And you will deal with those types of clients. A, have the licensee license revoked for negligence. B, sue the broker for money damages. C, sign a listing agreement with another broker and force the first broker to pay the commission. D, force the broker to perform the contract without compensation. So what can the seller do in this situation? Type your answer in the chat. All right, so I've got a B. Hey, Lenise, remember to type the question number also in addition to the answer. And yes, the answer is B, sue the broker for money damages. Now, if that realtor just stopped marketing the property, didn't do anything, and then that cost that client, okay, to be able to sell that house. Sorry about that background noise. So they can sue the broker for damages. And the actual broker, okay, may not, it says the broker obtains an exclusive listing. And an exclusive listing can either be exclusive listing where if the seller brings the buyer, they don't get paid, or exclusive right to sell, which no matter who procures the buyer, the broker gets paid, right? Okay, number 37. An owner agrees to pay a broker for procuring a tenant unless it is owner who finds the tenant. This is an example of, interesting, I just mentioned this, an exclusive right to sell agreement. B, exclusive agency agreement. C, open listing. Or D, net listing. Type your answer in the chat. All right, so far I have B and B. And that is correct. It is an exclusive agency agreement, right? Because it says that if the owner procures the tenant, then they don't pay a fee. All right, number 38. A landlord promises to compensate a broker for procuring a tenant, provided the broker is the procuring cause. This is an example of A, exclusive right to rent agreement, B, exclusive agency agreement, C, open rental listing, or D, net lease listing. Very similar to the prior question, and that will happen at the exam. So a landlord promises to compensate a broker for procuring a tenant, provided the broker is procuring costs. This is an example of type your answer in the chat. Going once, going twice, gone. An open rental listing. Okay, so they don't have a signed agreement, right? It says a landlord promised to compensate a broker for procuring a tenant. In other words, that means, hey, if you bring me a client, all right, I'll pay you. That's if I rent to them. So there's nothing in writing. That is an open listing. $39. A property owner agrees to pay a broker an open-ended commission as the difference between the sale price and the net amount, provided the owner receives a minimum amount of proceeds from the sale at closing. This is an example of A, exclusive right to sell agreement, B, exclusive agency agreement, C, open listing, or D, net listing. Hi, Kathleen. Thanks for joining us. And yes, the answer is D. That is a net listing. Okay, and how do you know that? Because it says an open-ended commission. So where the difference between the sell price and the net amount. Okay, so the seller wants basically a net amount of a certain amount of proceeds, provided the owner receives a minimum amount of proceeds. So he wants his net, let's say it's a $550,000 house, and he says, hey, all I want is $450,000 after all expenses, commission, and if there's anything left over, you can keep it. That's a net listing, right? Okay, number 40. In the context of agency law, the legal difference between an owner representation agreement and a buyer representation agreement is A, the client, B, the commission amount, C, fiduciary duties, or D, regulatory approvals. So what is the difference between these two type of agreements? In agency law, the legal difference between an owner representation agreement and a buyer representation agreement. So both are being represented, right? So what is the difference? Very good. Yes. 448, the client. That's probably, well, maybe it'll work. Nah. And if I go bigger, I swear. Okay, well, I can't swear. All right, number 41. Hi, Vicki. Thanks for joining us. We're doing national questions. A multiple listing authorization gives a broker what authority? A multiple listing authorization gives a broker what authority? A, to list the owner's property in a multiple listing service. B, to sell several properties for the owner at once. C, to represent both seller and buyer if necessary in selling the property. Or D, to delegate the listing responsibilities to other agents. All right. Everybody's doing great this morning, this afternoon, or this evening, right? Yes, to list the owner's property in a multiple listing service. All right, so we've got some good testimonial here, good news. So took the test on Monday and passed state. Awesome, congratulations, Vicki. You know, lately the state's been the hardest for many students, right? However, for you, it ended up with the national, right? There's a lot more questions on the national, right? You have 85 questions. So, hey, congratulations. Okay, that's an achievement. You passed the state. So there you're getting some congrats. Very good. Thank you for sharing that with us. All right, so now we're going into broker business, test number 5 in the book, broker business and sale contracts. Which of the following business entities is generally prohibited from brokering real estate? A, sole proprietorship. B, partnership. C, corporation for profit. Or D, nonprofit corporation. Yeah, I had a couple of students who took their exams and didn't pass. It was their third time. So they're repeating their courses again, a couple of courses like Principles 1, Principles 2. So don't give up when this is something that you really want to do. All right, we've got so far DD, very good. Yes, nonprofit corporation. Because in real estate, what we are making a profit. And so is the broker, right? So the broker and the realtors are making a profit when transactions are closed. Number 2, a joint venture, may generally broker real estate if the co-venturers what? A, form a business trust. B, form a cooperative association. C, are properly licensed. Or D, are limited partners. Oh, thanks for joining us, Sulema. There's another congratulations, Vicki. So a joint venture may generally broker real estate if the co-venturers are what? So what is one of the requirements to be able to broker real estate, sell real estate? The answer is C. They are properly licensed. So the co-venturers. So a joint venture may generally broker real estate if the co-venturers are properly licensed. Okay, because someone has to be a broker, right? It can be the corporate broker, the supervising broker, and managing brokers. So are properly licensed. Number 3, Hi, Lisbeth. Thanks for joining us. A licensed salesperson may work only for A client who has signed a listing agreement with a licensed broker. B, a single employing broker who has an active broker's license. C, a client who has signed an authorization agreement with a licensed salesperson. Or D, an employer who has an active or inactive broker's license. So who may a salesperson work for? So may work only for. So when you pass your real estate exam, you're going to look for somebody that's what? In order to hang your license there. You know, so number 3, yeah, A sounds like it's the right answer. However, it's not, because we do work for our clients, right? But it says a licensed salesperson may work only for, and we don't really work. We work for a broker, even though we're not an employee. Okay, we are, or we could be an employee. Okay, but then we wouldn't be making commission. Okay, or we could do both. So in this case, a licensed salesperson may work only for a single employing broker who has an active broker's license. So we can only hang our license with one broker. We can work for multiple clients. Okay, so we can have many signed listing agreements. So a client who has signed a listing agreement with a licensed broker. So no. Yes, we work for those clients, okay, but those clients are employing the broker, right? And then we are the associate that works with that broker that actually represents the client, okay? So that's why the answer is B and not A. So a licensed salesperson may work only, okay, only for a single employing broker who has an active broker's license. We can't only work for a client who has signed a listing agreement with a licensed broker. We can work with the broker, okay? Because we have to be first working with that broker in order to work with that client, right? Hi, Anna. Thanks for joining us. So do y'all get that? So A says a client who has signed a listing agreement with a licensed broker. Well, what if you're not hanging your license with that broker? Then you can't do it. So you're not only working for that broker. So first we have to be employed, be with an employing broker who has an active broker's license. A little tricky there. However, 50% of you got it right, something like that. But I can, hi Ruth, thanks for joining us. So did y'all get that? Type a comment. Let's see, Lisbeth and Ruth. Did you understand why the correct answer is B and not A? See, a licensed salesperson may work only for the broker and then the client, because we're working for the client through the broker. Got it? Okay, Kathleen, you answered 2C. Okay, you must have a delay. Hi, Kathleen. Yes, okay, Lisbeth, great. Right, number 4. So number 3. Which of the following activities is a licensed salesperson allowed to engage in? A, accept the listing that is in associate's name. B, accept a commission directly from the MLS. C, offer a property for lease on behalf of the employing broker. Or D, sign a contract with a management company on behalf of a client. So remember, we are the broker in association. We are the realtor in association with the broker. First, we work with a broker, for a broker, not employed by them, but we work for a broker and their clients, even though the clients are predominantly directly our clients, and our clients will follow us if we move to another organization, another brokerage. That's usually what happens, right? We develop the relationships with our clients, even though all transactions belong to the broker. Okay, very good. C. Number 5. If a salesperson has worked on a completed transaction that involved a listing agent, a selling agent, and several subagents for each of these, from whom will the salesperson receive any compensation that is due? So a salesperson has worked on a completed transaction that involved a listing agent, a selling agent, and several subagents for each of these. Who do they get the compensation for? Who do they receive it from? A, the listing agent. B, the selling agent. C, the seller. Or D, the employing broker. All right, so far we've got D. Anyone else? The answer is actually D. Okay, so the selling agent is not the one that shares their commission with us. It's the listing agent, right? So in here, we're, of course, from whom will the salesperson receive compensation that is due? From our broker. Okay, we get paid through our broker. However, the listing agent will share their commission with the selling agent and any sub-agents. Okay, however, we don't receive our compensation from them. It comes through our broker. Okay, that's a little tricky thing. So the selling agent, that's who we are. The salesperson is the selling agent because they were involved in a transaction that had a listing agent. Therefore, we were the selling agent. So they don't tell you that, but they say the salesperson has worked on a completed transaction that involved a listing agent, okay, a selling agent, and several subagents. So who do all of these individuals get paid from? The broker. The broker gets paid from the seller, right? And so we say that whenever there's a realtor that is the representative for the seller, that listing agent will share their commission with the buying agent, of course, through the broker. Okay? So the answer was 5D. Number 6. A property has sold for $380,000. The listing agreement calls for a commission of 6.5%. Hey, that's awesome. The listing broker and selling broker agree to share the commission equally. What will the listing agent receive if the agent is scheduled to get a 40% share? Okay, so 6.5% is in percent. 6.5% in commission. Okay, the listing broker and the selling broker will split that. Okay, commission equally. So 3.25% goes to each broker. What will the listing agent receive if the agent is scheduled to get a 40% share? So math problem here, right? So you know it's 3.25%. So it has several steps to calculate this problem. All right, so let's see. I've got 5.6D so far. So you've got 3.25, right? So you're going to multiply 3.25 times 380,000. Okay, you calculate that. And then you multiply that by 40%. That is what the agent is going to get. And that's how you come up with the answer. Okay, so the answer is D. So you can do it, different ways. You can divide the commission first or multiply 6.5 by 380 and then multiply that by 50%, right? So what I did was I just multiplied half of the commission by 380 and then from that multiplied by 40% because that's what the realtor is going to receive. And that could be a realtor that's in a team, an official team that provides a lot of leads. So the answer is D, 4,940. Nobody, only Lenise tried this one. Excuse me. So very good, Lenise. All right, number 7. Well, let's see here. Oh my gosh. All right, number 7. Oh, thank you, Anna. Thank you for the bless you. A real estate salesperson finds a buyer for a for sale by owner property. Okay, so salesperson gets a buyer for a for sale by owner. The home sells for $245,000 and the seller agrees to pay a 3% commission or a commission of 3%. The salesperson is on a 65% commission schedule with her broker who pays her 65% minus office expenses of $500. How much would the salesperson receive from this transaction? So run your calculators or do it in by hand and type your answer in the chat. And that's usually what you want to shoot for, to get at least 3% commission and not be afraid to ask for it. Okay, so here you're going to do what? You're going to multiply 3% times 245,000, right? And you'll get $7,350. From that, you multiply it by 65% because that realtor will get a 65% commission. So 65 to the realtor, 35% to the broker. That's the split. So you get, and then you multiply 245 times 65. 245 times 3%, you get 7,350. Then you multiply that by 65%, subtract 500, and get the answer. So let's see. Kathleen says A. Lenise says C. The answer is C. Answers are pretty close. But the answer is 4,278. You forgot to subtract the 500, Kathleen, because that's the difference between A and C. 5.7 C. Got it? All right, number 8. A salesperson makes a listing presentation to a home seller and obtains a signed listing agreement. The first thing the salesperson must now do is what? A, make a final price determination for the property. B, negotiate the commission with the client. C, complete the signing of the listing. Or D, explain the agency relationship to the client. So it's salesperson makes a listing presentation and obtains a signed listing agreement. So the first thing the salesperson must now do so they already agreed on a final price. If they decided on, if they already signed the listing paperwork, the seller signed the listing paperwork. Okay, but here, right, both parties have to perform. No, the agency relationship happens first, Anna, not after a listing agreement is signed. So what happens here, after the seller has signed the listing agreement, so does the salesperson. Because the salesperson is the associate representing the broker. Therefore, both are committing to provide specific performance and deliver. Seller has to make the property available to sell it, okay, and follow through. And the broker has to attract a ready, willing, and able buyer by doing all the marketing, advertising, or whatever is necessary. So the commission is negotiated before the signed listing agreement. Okay, Lisbeth, a client is not going to sign a listing agreement until after they negotiate a commission and determine what price they're going to list it at. So the answer is 5.8C, complete the signing of the listing. Because both parties have to sign, right? The seller and the broker. Got it. All right. Very good. So 58C, complete the signing of the listing. Because the question says, a salesperson makes a listing presentation to a home seller and gets the listing signed. So the seller signed. The first thing the salesperson must now do is sign the listing. Okay. Complete the signing of the listing. Number 9. Juan shows a customer a property that is listed by another brokerage firm. He obtains an offer that is $5,000 less than the listing price. How should Juan deal with this offer? So Juan shows a customer property listed by another broker firm, obtains an offer that is $5,000 less. How should Juan deal with this offer? A, advise the buyer that the offer will be rejected. B, present the offer to the seller at the earliest possible moment. C, ask the listing broker to lower the listing price. Or D, counter the offer. So type your answer in the chat. All right, awesome. Yes, present the offer to the seller at the earliest possible moment. Now, we're not going to be the one to present it to the offer, right? We're going to present the offer to the other realtor so that realtor can present it to their listing client. Okay. So Juan is the buyer agent. Okay. And shows a property listed by another broker, obtains an offer. And what does he do with the offer? Present the offer to the seller at the earliest possible moment. However, it does go through the listing broker, not directly to the seller, right? We only deal with our own client. Well, in some states, but it says by another brokerage firm, okay? There's no dual agency here because we're doing national questions, right? So 5.9B, very good. Oh, man, come on. I'm talking to myself here. Okay, number 10. A broker receives an earnest money deposit from a buyer and signs the check over to the listing agent as a partial commission advance. What is wrong with this procedure? What's wrong with this picture? Okay. So A, nothing provided the deposit clears the bank and doesn't bounce. B, the broker and the agent are guilty of price fixing. C, the broker has illegally converted security funds for business use. Or D, the agent may not be able to return the advance if the transaction falls through. The broker receives earnest money deposit from a buyer and signs the check over to the listing agent as a partial commission advance. What's wrong with this picture? Okay, what's wrong with this procedure? Yes, awesome. C, the broker has illegally converted security funds for business use, right? Commingling. Very good. Awesome. Number 11. Under what circumstances may a property listed for sale with a brokerage be advertised without identifying the broker? A, when the salesperson is an out-of-state license. B, when the ad is restricted to the brokerage's website. C, when the advertisement is a silent ad. Or D, never. So under what circumstances can you list without identifying the broker? That is correct. Boy, all of you were quick for that one. D, never. Never, never, never. You know, we usually say never. However, in this case, we always advertise and identify the broker, right? Right. So what are we on? Number 12. Dang. I wonder if it'll work if I go real big. No. Okay, I gotta go small. All right, number 12. Thank you for your patience. Competing brokers in a county seat agree on a standard commission rate for principals within the county. This is a possible violation of what? So competing brokers in a county seat agree on a standard commission rate for principals within that county. A, fair trade and antitrust laws. B, the statute of frauds. C, contract law. Or D, the Uniform Commercial Code. This is a possible violation. Yeah, so the answer here is A, fair trade and antitrust laws, right? Allow competition. Oh my gosh, 512, I didn't put the A. So 512A, not just 512. So did everybody answer A? Yes, okay. Very good. Number 13. What is a co-brokerage? A, An owner agent and a buyer agent combine efforts to complete a sale. B, outside brokers assist a listing agent in procuring a buyer. C, an owner or buyer lists with several brokers to complete a transaction. Or D, agents from a single agency cooperate to generate listings for the broker. So remember, oh, good afternoon, Naz. I just noticed you. Sorry. Thanks for joining us. So, what is co-brokerage? Cooperating brokerage, right? All right. Yes. B. Oh, no, not C, Anna. It is B. Outside brokers assist a listing agent in procuring buyers. So when we put a property in the multiple listing service, okay, we are searching for a ready, willing, and able buyer. And we're advertising it so that on the MLS, so that other brokers have, other brokers, other realtors have access to it. So we're asking hopefully for them to bring us a buyer. So co-brokerage, cooperating brokerages, we're cooperating with other brokerages, right, to bring a procuring buyer, to bring a buyer that they procure, okay? Because the listing agent doesn't always bring the buyer to themselves, right? Sometimes we do attract the buyer ourselves through our marketing. However, like in San Antonio, there's 14,000 at least realtors. So any of those realtors can bring a buyer. Therefore, outside brokers assist the listing agent in procuring a buyer. So the answer is B. All right. Let's see. Number A. Let's see. I had some. Lisbeth answered A, and somebody C, and Anna C. An owner agent and buyer agent combine efforts to complete a sale. No. Cooperating brokerages. That's different brokers cooperate. C. An owner or buyer lists with several brokers. No, you can't do that. To complete one transaction, you can only list with one broker. You can list multiple properties and have one property with one broker and another property with another broker, but not the same property. Okay. Can only sign one listing agreement with one broker, or sign a listing agreement with one broker. Can't be using two brokers, because then who the heck is going to get paid? Okay. Not going to be enough money in the bucket. Number 14. Which of the following may associate his or her name or title with the term realtor? Remember, it's only two syllables, real and tor. Realtor. We will be realtors, or you will be realtors. I'm already a realtor. Okay. Which of the following may associate his or her name or title with the term realtor? A, any active or inactive broker in the country. B, any duly licensed active agent or broker. C, any member in good standing in a properly chartered real estate trade organization. Or D, only members of the National Association of Realtors. Remember, the designation of realtor is a profession. Well, the answer is D. Only members of the National Association of Realtors. Okay. A duly licensed active agent or broker, okay, that is not a member of NAR, National Association of Realtors, is not considered a realtor, okay, with the trademark. And actually, the trademark must be used whenever we capitalize all the letters. doesn't have to be used when the letters are lowercase, okay? And if only the R is capitalized, the copyright doesn't have to be used. If we use all capital letters, then the copyright is required. So we have to be members in order to be designated as a realtor, member of the National Association of Realtors. So once you pass your license, your exams, you're going to be registering with the local MLS, and at the same time pay the fee for your state Association of Realtors, and then for the National Association of Realtors. So that is critical. That's when we become a professional realtor, when we are part of NAR. So it's going to be costly when you first join your local MLS, because you will be paying local dues for the local MLS, for your state dues, and for the National Association of Realtor dues. Like for me here in San Antonio, I think the fee just went up to $415 for the year, and that's every January 1st. Okay, so it does cost money to be a professional realtor every year, and your quarterly dues to the MLS, okay, and the monthly dues to your broker. So realize that you need money to do business, to open the door to your business of real estate, because that's basically what you're doing. You're opening your door of your business. All right, what? Oh, I went backwards instead of forwards. Oh. All right, that's not going to work. All right, number 15. Did y'all get that? Ingrain that. We've got to be members of NAR. Real estate agents, sales agents are legally authorized to do what? Real estate sales agent. A, represent their employing broker in procuring clients and customers. B, act directly on the client's behalf to discharge the broker's listing responsibilities. C, negotiate and execute contracts for sale on behalf of the client. D, take on the listing responsibilities for other listings in MLS. So remember, we're an association. We hang in a license with, our sponsor. Come on, there's many of you on here. Go ahead and type your answer in the chat. Oops. The answer is A, represent their employing broker in procuring clients and customers. Okay, so let's see. Well, y'all answered it correct for those of you that answered. All right. So 515A. Okay, so that's it for our national portion of it. So this is the time to ask me any questions on national before we move on to state. And for those of you or anyone that's watching on YouTube right now, hey, remember to send me some love. Tap that subscribe button and tap that thumbs up, actually. That's what I meant to say. And send me some love. Provide me some support so I can keep doing these. I mean, I've only been doing it for 8 years, but not on YouTube. Okay, so let me transition So if you have any questions on national, this is the time to do it while I transition to the state questions. No questions. You're very welcome, Lanice. 5 more if you can. Jamie. Yes, I can. All right. Okay, now I got to shift back because I had already shifted. Yes, I can do 5 more. So let's do that. But now I've got to, let's see, what page was I on? What were we on? 515. Okay, there we are. All right. Well, thank you for that. I aim to please when I can. Okay, awesome. So number 16, continuing on with national questions. Oh. And excuse my sniffles. I've been doing so awesome. No cold, no nothing. However, I'm pushing myself really hard at the gym. So I'm working out really hard, getting back into shape. Okay, number 16. Thanks, Jaylene. Okay, how does the position of an independent contractor license differ from that of an employee license? So, independent contractor, right? That's what we are called. Independent contractors differ from that of an employee licensee. A, the independent contractor is responsible for his or her own taxes. The broker does not withhold. B, the IC must contain, the independent contractor must obtain his or her own trainings. It is not provided by the broker. C, the employee is not entitled to any company benefits. Or D, the independent contractor must abide by all office meeting schedules. So what is the difference? You're welcome, Jaylee. You asked just in time. Okay, come on, type your answer in the chatty chat. Yes, the answer is A. Well, great, Lanice. You ended up staying. That's good. 516A. The independent contractor is responsible for their own taxes. The broker does not withhold any taxes, right? If we're an employee, yes. So we can be a realtor, okay, and be an employee. So like at my company, at my brokerage, there are a lot of realtors that are employees of EXP. They're not doing real estate business representing clients. Okay. They're just in order to do certain things, right? Responsibilities, we must have a license. So if for some reason being a realtor doesn't work out for you, hey, you can always work for a broker and use your knowledge of real estate to help out, become a transaction coordinator. If you decide that, you don't like working with individuals, buyers and sellers, showing houses or listing properties, there are options. Okay. It's not the end of the world. Number 17. A salesperson commission rate and structure is established by whom? A, state regulation. B, competitive conditions. C, agreement with other brokers in the market. D, negotiations with the client. So the salesperson's commission rate and structure is established by there may seem to be like 2 answers that could be correct, but there's only one. Okay, Jaylene, come on. Jaylene, Anna. No, it's not D, it's B, competitive conditions. Okay, just from the prior question that we did. Okay, so there has to be a competitive situation, no monopolizing, right? Yes, it is negotiations with the client. However, a salesperson commission rate and structure is established by competitive conditions. So in some areas of the state or of the country, a listing could be, the going rate there might be 5%. That's the competitive condition because of the market. In some other areas, it could be 6%, 7%. It comes down eventually. The commission is decided between the client and the realtor, right? A broker. However, we have to have competitive conditions, no monopolizing. So that's what they're, more referring to. A salesperson's commission rate and structure is established by competition, competitive conditions. That was number 17. Okay, 18. In obtaining offers from a buyer, an agent must be careful to do what? A, pursue only those offers which are at or near the listing price. B, balance the owner's price expectations with the buyer's opinion of value. C, avoid disclosing what price the owner will accept. Or D, avoid completing offers that are beneath market value. So in obtaining offers from a buyer, an agent must be careful to I almost typed the wrong answer. Anyone else? And yes, the answer is C. Avoid disclosing what price the owner will accept. And this is crucial, okay? Whenever you have a listing, I mean, you can share what the listing price is. That's on the MLS, okay? It's all over the internet. However, if an offer comes in and it's accepted, never, never, never share with anyone else what the contract offer price is. Not even to your best friend, not even to other realtors, not acceptable. Because what if that transaction falls? Now they know what the seller was willing to accept. That's a no-no. Okay. I've had friends tell me, oh, but we're best friends. Oh, but we're also both realtors. And you could end up getting a client. So no. You'll find that, realtors will get upset with you, or friends or acquaintances or something. And they say, well, I won't say anything. Well, you never know. Okay. They may end up having a client. So that's confidential between seller and the broker, seller and the realtor. So neither the listing agent nor the buyer agent should disclose to anyone else. Now, your broker is going to know, your transaction coordinator is going to know, your assistant is going to know, okay? However, they're not interacting with others. Or they're under oath not to be doing that, okay? Number 18. Oh, we just did that. Number 19. Commingling is the practice of A, blending escrow funds on a number of properties in one escrow account. B, mixing socially with prospects at open houses or other market functions. C, allocating commission funds from a transaction for use in the agency business. Or D, mixing escrow funds with the brokerage operating funds. Type your answer in the chat. All right, 3 answers came up at once. Yes, D. Mixing escrow funds with the broker's operating funds, right? No, no, no. Can't take money out of the escrow or the trust fund to use for the business. All right, number 20. This will be the last national question for the evening. 3 leading agencies charge identical commission rates for brokering office properties in Phoenix. Based on the information alone, which of the following is true? So 3 leading agencies charge identical commission rates for brokering office properties in Phoenix. So which one is true? A, there is insufficient evidence of anything other than a normal business practice. B, the brokers have engaged in illegal collusion. C, the brokers have allocated the Phoenix market. Or D, the brokers have illegally fixed pricing. So it just says 3 leading agencies happen to charge identical commission rates for brokering office properties in Phoenix. Anna, I would take another attempt because it is not D. Because look, it says 3 leading agencies they happen to be charging identical commission rates for brokering office properties in Phoenix. So which one is true? A, there is insufficient evidence of anything other than a normal business practice. Okay, got it. You read the question wrong. And just like Anna stated on here, oh, no, not that one. She says, didn't carefully read the question, and that will happen a lot to us. Okay, we go through it really fast. And that's the one thing we have to be careful of, and is taking the time to read that question carefully. And that's how we end up selecting incorrect questions. And you could actually answer still correctly if you read it wrong, but still, that's usually what happens. So thank you for pointing that out, Anna, or stating that. All right, so that was A. There is insufficient evidence. Okay, it didn't say that they got together and they decided to charge the same rate. It just says 3 leading agencies happen to charge, they didn't use the word happen, I'm putting that, identical commission rates for brokering office properties in Phoenix. That's it. Doesn't say much more. All right. Let's see. Oh, okay, Jaylene, you're on your way out. Yes, ma'am, she says. Okay, so now we're going to shift to state questions. So while I do the shifting, go ahead and ask me any questions, see if I can help you with an answer. If I can't, I'll Google it. All right, where am I here? No, those are the answers. So we're starting out with 1331. Okay. All right. So have a great evening, everyone. Thank you for that, Lenice. You're very welcome, Jaylene. Okay, here we go. Texas questions. Oops. Gosh, I'm trying to eliminate, I'm trying to hide the remark here. All right. Number 31, these are Texas state questions. A licensee shows a property to, oh, I can't see the whole darn question, huh? It says, get with it, Lily. Wow, that's too small. Okay, there we go. 31. A licensee shows a property to an interested buyer, which the buyer likes very much. During the second showing, the buyer reveals that the house was previously occupied by a person who died of AIDS. The buyer blames the agent for not disclosing this fact and threatens to file a complaint with TREC. Which of the following is true? A, the broker has failed to deal honestly and competently with the buyer prospect. B, the broker has violated a duty to disclose unnatural deaths which have occurred in a listed property. Or C, the broker has jeopardized the client's interest and could face disciplinary action. Or D, the licensee is not required to make any disclosure or inquiries regarding AIDS. That's right. The answer is D. The licensee is not required to make any disclosures of inquiries regarding AIDS. Oh, state. Okay, so let's see. One of you answered B, but it's not B. So we are not required, okay? That is not something that we are required to disclose, okay? Death by natural causes. If it was an accident in the house that causes death, so there's something wrong with the house, okay, there are major defects or it's under construction, that's different because something's wrong with the house and then it cannot be entered. Or somebody was murdered, then that's going to be news, okay, public news. So AIDS, we do not disclose. Natural death. Okay, so everybody did pretty good there. All right, so now we're moving to the next section, which is agency and brokerage relationships. This is a difficult section that many miss. Agency and brokerage relationship, standards of conduct, and then this one are two areas that are missed a lot. So let's focus carefully and learn this. Oh, hey, good afternoon, DB Fitness. Which of the following are acceptable sanctioned brokerage relationships in Texas? A, buyer agency and seller agency only, no sub-agency or dual agency. B, buyer, seller, and sub-agency. C, transaction brokerage only. Or D, buyer and seller agency, sub-agency, and intermediary representation. So which ones do we get to practice in the state of Texas? Yes, the answer is D. Buyer, seller agency. You can represent a buyer, can represent a seller. There is sub-agency, and there is intermediary representation, right? Because we only represent one client. The broker can represent both in an intermediary situation, in an intermediary position. So very good, D. That didn't work. One of these days I'll get a different system going here. Let's see. Gotta go small. All right, number 2. Which of the following best defines an agent per Texas statute? A broker who represents a party in a real estate transaction or who lists real estate under an exclusive agreement. B, a broker who holds a real estate license. C, a broker who sells and leases real estate. Or D, a person who exclusively represents buyers and sellers in an intermediary transaction. Which one is illegal in Texas? Dual agency, DB. They're all legal. The dual agency A is illegal because we don't do dual agency. We do have sub agency, right? That's when you don't represent the buyer and you wrote a contract for the buyer. You actually represent the seller as a substitute agent. Okay. And we don't have dual agency in Texas. The dual agent would actually be an intermediary broker. So which of the following are acceptable sanctioned brokerage relationships in Texas? Oh, are we on number 1 or I'm sorry. I got lost track here. So DB asked about which one was illegal. We're on number 2. So yes, number 2 is A broker who represents a party in a real estate transaction or who lists real estate under an exclusive agreement. Okay, see who answered anything else? Nope, everybody got it right. Okay. Number 3. A broker in an agency relationship must comply with which of the following agency-related regulations? A broker must present all full price offers to the seller. B, the broker must disclose receipt of all offers. C, the broker must negotiate a seller's listing price. Or D, the broker must refrain from interfering in negotiations with represented principals for 90 days following the expiration of the listing. So we have an agency relationship. So we must comply with which of the following regulations? So far, we've got B. Anybody else? Yes, very good. The answer is B. The broker must disclose receipt of all offers. Number 4. Two home buyer prospects walk into an open house and start talking to the seller's agent hosting the occasion. They inform the agent that they need help looking for properties in and around the neighborhood. What is the host's responsibility in this scenario with regards to representation? A, the host must give the buyers a seller property condition brochure. B, the host does not have to disclose anything since there is no talk regarding pricing. C, the host must tell the buyers that she represents the seller of the open house property. Or D, the host must complete the dual agency disclosure. Bailey, I'm sorry, I'm tied up here. Okay, so far I've got C. Anna, are you referring to 14.4 or 14.3? Make sure you all type the question number correctly. Yes, the answer is C. The host must tell the buyers that she represents the seller of the open house property. Right? If it's an agent that doesn't represent the seller, then that's not the case. However, if it's the agent that has the listing agreement, okay, then it says to an open house and start talking to the seller's agent, right? So we already know that that agent is representing the seller, therefore must disclose. I represent the seller, so I'll be able to show you and discuss any other properties except for any details in particular about this property, except for what is public. I mean, you can discuss the details of the property. You just can't, work in a situation of disclosing more than you have to. Remember, we have to be honest and truthful. Oh, no worry, Anna. Don't apologize. All right, number 5. Which of the following scenarios would require agency disclosure? A, 2 buyers tell an Austin agent that they are seriously considering moving from San Antonio to Austin. B, a buyer tells a licensee that they cannot live in a 2-story home. C, a buyer tells an agent at an open house that they like the listing at the end of the cul-de-sac with the detached garage. Or D, a seller tells an agent that he and his wife are considering downscaling their main residence. So which one requires agency disclosure? Yes, very good. C, a buyer tells an agent at an open house that they like the listing at the end of the cul-de-sac with the detached garage. They're now talking about a specific property. So that's when you're going into detailed about, one property. If it's just the area or something like that, it's not down to a specific property. That's the key difference, okay? It says, like the listing at the end of the cul-de-sac with the detached garage. So they pointed out already a specific property. So they're doing what substantive dialogue about one property at least. All right, number 6. In which of the following instances does the broker have to disclose an agency relationship? A, when the broker meets another principal party to a transaction, the buyer's spouse. B, when an agent meets a relative at an open house. C, when an agent has completed a lease with a tenant and plans to meet the tenant the following day. Or D, whenever the agent receives a phone call while performing floor time duty. Type your answer in the chat. On a roll. Y'all are on a roll. Yes, very good. The answer is A. When the broker meets another principal party to the transaction, the buyer's spouse. So under which of the following instances does a broker have to disclose, have to disclose an agency relationship? When the spouse comes in, they have a relationship with them. All right, number 7. In a given agency relationship, a broker is obligated to disclose to a seller all material information known to the agent. This is an example of, a broker is obligated to disclose to a seller all material information known to the agent. A, A seller's agency, B, a buyer agency, C, dual agency, or D, intermediate agency? A shocked look, Jaylee? In a seller agency. Okay, we don't have dual agency, Lisbeth. Remember? So it says in a given agency relationship, a broker is obligated to disclose to a seller all material information known to the agent. So they're representing here to the seller, right? So they're obligated to disclose any information that we know about that property. So this is an example of seller agency. Dual agency is when you represent two individuals. That's right, she says. All right. So they're only representing one, the seller. And sometimes the seller may not be aware of certain things that we see because we're looking at properties all the time, or the majority of the time, depending on how busy we are as a realtor. So we may see certain things that have an impact on a buyer's decision making or a seller's. Therefore, we disclose that to the seller, even though the seller may not be aware of it. We need to make them aware. So the answer was A. All right, number 8. In the last paragraph of the disclosure, information about brokerage services, known as IABS, there are several important recommendations made to prospective buyers and sellers. One of the most important of these is that A, whoever compensates the agent is the ultimate party the agent is responsible to. B, whichever alternative is selected, the seller is the party the agent legally represents. C, the consumer must make a decision between buyer or seller agency or using an intermediary. Or D, if the consumer decides to be represented, that he or she should complete a written agreement that lists out the respective obligations of the agent and the principal. Type your answer in the chat. Anybody else? Going once, going twice. D, yeah, that's correct. So in the last paragraph, so there are several important recommendations made to prospective buyers and sellers. One of the most important of these is that D, if the consumer decides to be represented, that he or she should complete a written agreement that lists out the respective obligations to the agent and the principal, right? So it'll be a buyer's rep agreement or a seller's listing agreement. All right, number 9. And of course, they'll be signing the IABS agreement. Okay. In addition to a listing or a buyer's rep agreement. Number 9. Three of the following answers accurately characterize the duties of an intermediary, mediator, intermediary. Which one does not? A, must treat parties honestly, fairly, and impartially. B, may not disclose confidential information regardless of circumstances. C, must disclose information materially impacting property condition. Or D, may not negotiate a lower or higher price without authorization. Be very careful with this question and the answers. Because which one does not represent accurately the characteristics. Anna, sorry, it is not D as in dog, nor is it DB. The answer is B. May not disclose confidential information regardless of circumstances. So typically that's what we do, right? We don't disclose it. But what if the courts are requiring for us to disclose that information? Then B is not accurate, right? As one of the duties of the intermediary. The intermediary normally does not disclose any, right? Because they're not directly dealing with the client, they're mediating. Okay, so, but if the court demands disclosure of confidential information, then we must disclose it. So the answer is 14.9B. I think Doggy wants to go out. However, Bailey, I'm sorry, I can't take you out. Sorry, Mama. Not right now. All right. So yes, Aileen, you got it. So let's go back. Some of you answered D. May not negotiate a lower higher price without authorization. Okay, well, that is a true statement. Which one does not? So 3 of them were true, were duties. Okay, we have to have permission, written authorization or verbal authorization to negotiate something higher or lower. Oh, didn't even think of that. Ah, yes, the court asking. That's right. Typically, we don't, right? We have to hold information confidential. But if there's a demand from the courts, we have to. Okay, very good on that. Gotcha. Right, number 10. A broker decides to represent both sides of a single transaction. If he or she proceeds to do this, which of the following consequences applies? A, he must act as an intermediary. B, he must represent the seller and get someone else to represent the buyer. C, he must obtain a verbal permission of all parties. Or D, since dual agency is illegal, he will be violating license law. Okay, let's see. So far I have an A. A is in apple. Anybody else? No, nobody else? Come on, there's a whole bunch of you on here. Type an answer in the chat. No, it is not C, Anna. Sorry. Here I say, don't be sorry, and I'm saying sorry. Yeah, the answer is A. They must act as an intermediary, okay? Because it said the broker decides to represent both sides of a single transaction. So in the state of Texas, a broker can represent both sides as an intermediary, and one agent is assigned to the seller and another agent is assigned to the buyer, right? That's what we have, intermediary that way. Go back and study definition of intermediary. Number 11. So that was 10. What is the primary function of an appointed intermediary? A, to stand in for the primary intermediary in the event of an absence of illness. B, to give the principals a choice in which broker they prefer to represent them. C, to represent the principal party of the broker does not represent. Or D, to carry out specific instructions from the intermediary for the benefit of the principal party. Come on, Bailey. What's the matter, girl? Only one posting an answer. So Lisbeth is correct. The answer is D, to carry out specific instructions from the intermediary for the benefit of the principal. So the appointed intermediary must carry out instructions provided by the intermediary, the main broker, right? And further, the appointed intermediary must be pre-authorized in the original consent document. The AI, appointed intermediary, okay, is then empowered to offer opinion and advice to the principal to whom she was assigned. Okay, so you see Anna had C or D. Yeah, so it was D. So the primary function of an appointed intermediary to carry out specific instructions from the intermediary for the benefit of the principal party. Get it now. All right. Number 12. Which of the following accurately describes a broker's duty in managing operation? A, the broker must develop, then abide by his or her rules of handling trust funds and managing the trust account. B, the broker may delegate compliance duties, but must ensure timely communication between his delegated sales agents and clients. C, the broker may delegate selling and prospecting activities, but may not delegate property management activities. D, all listing in sales agents' names must be maintained to accurately reflect each sales agent's address and contact data. Bailey, what's the matter, girl? Type your answer in the chat. Okay, the answer here is B. The broker may delegate compliance duties, but must ensure timely communication between his delegated sales agents and clients. You know, compliance department is the one that makes sure that we are in line with the law, okay? That we don't make any mistakes on our contracts and protects us from having inaccurate documents, okay? Wants to make sure that we are in compliance with all legalities, all legal laws. It was between A or D. So what was D? All listings in sales agent's name must be maintained to accurately reflect its address and contact data. No, it reflects the broker's address, okay? If on the listing agreement, buyer's rep agreements, anything like that, it has to have the broker's address, not our personal address, okay? Not the salesperson's personal address. And A, the broker must develop, then abide by his or her rules for handling trust funds and managing the trust account. Now, there are state laws that, you know, that we must follow, okay, when having rules for handling trust funds. We don't create our own rules, or the broker doesn't develop their own rules for that situation, okay, for trust funds. All right, number 13. Wow. This is sensitive. Okay, it's going to be small. A broker, number 13, a broker must discharge numerous duties relating to her agency, his or her agency relationships. Which of the following is such a duty? broker must discharge numerous duties. A, the broker owes customer honest disclosure of the client's financial status and property value. B, the broker owes the fiduciary obligation of fairness and impartiality in all dealings with clients. C, the broker is obligated to justify any and all subordinate terminations with TREC. Or D, the broker must disclose to the principal all known information affecting the client's decision making unless legally prohibited. I'll respond to you in a moment, Anna. So type the answer for number 13. A broker must discharge numerous duties relating to agency relationship. Which one is it? Okay, the answer is D. The broker must disclose to the principal all known information affecting the client's decision making unless legally prohibited. So you all were right on D. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to go back. There was a comment here by Anna. So let's see here. And many of you might relate here. It's frustrating. I've been studying vocabulary and the prep book for 2 weeks straight daily and still not getting it. Okay, so maybe it's reorganizing or working on your mindset. And it depends how much you're studying each day and if you're taking sufficient breaks in between your studying. And it sometimes, we all learn at a different pace, okay, and in a different way. Sometimes by writing it, listening, reading. Okay, there are different ways, studying with somebody else. That's what we used to do a lot in college, right? Have study groups or study buddies. So yes, it is frustrating, Anna. It can be when you study vocabulary. So it just depends. Are you enjoying it when you're studying, or are you frustrated studying? That can make a big difference also, because if you're frustrated studying for something that you want to do, maybe it's not for you. Okay. And so, many deal with that. And it's just repeat, repeat, repeat. So it says, but I won't give up. My exams are on the 28th, my third try. All right, Anna, do not give up. You keep going. That's right. And Jaylene says, keep going, Anna. You'll get it. That's right. We all need support. So 2 hours, breaks every 30 minutes for 5 minutes, and throughout the day video. Awesome. Well, you seem to be doing right. Are you totally focused with no interruptions? And she says she is enjoying it. And thank you, everyone, for your support. Awesome. So just, it's just going to take some people, it might take them, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, longer than that. Everyone is different. Do not compare yourself with anyone else except with yourself. Okay. We can, today it's interesting. I asked somebody because I might get a certification for a certified trainer. All right. To do something on the side that I love to do. And I asked the young man that's a certified trainer. That's my training coach. Okay. At the gym. And I said, well, how long did it take you? And then I caught myself and I said, oh, no. If everybody does it differently. Okay. So I said, okay, so what are the requirements? And where can I take it? Those are actual questions that we can ask. But how long it took him? No, it might take me longer. It might take me less. We cannot compare with someone else because each of us is different. Okay. And we're going to hurt ourselves by doing that and trying to be like somebody else who we are not. We are who we are, and we work at our pace. And on our own. Okay. So good night. So best wishes, Anna, for your upcoming exam. You will pass it. Thanks, DB. Appreciate that. We all need support. But you see, we have to catch ourselves when we're asking the wrong type of question. Okay. Just you're competing with yourself, nobody else. Okay. And if something isn't working, sit back, focus, deep breathing, meditate, whatever works for you. Go out, take a walk, or, exercise, whatever works for you, and reevaluate how you are studying, how you're doing it, how much time, and whether you have a projected date or a goal of what you want to do. Just don't worry so much about the future. Worry about doing it now. If for some reason you were not to pass, just means you need to work on it a little bit more and a little bit different. Strategize, change your strategy, reorganize. Okay? Facts. All right. But we all need that encouragement and support, including me. All right, number 15. Okay, here. So just a little pep talk, which we all need at one point or another. I needed it from somebody this week, okay? Uh, because I deal with that. Okay, let me give you an example here. Okay, we're in a class and I have a trainer that's working out. Okay, and I was stressed having to meet some deadlines, staying up till 6 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't want to go to the gym. I was tired. I was exhausted, and I didn't get enough sleep. So I called in and I canceled, right? And then took a shower, and then I'm like, nope, I can't do this to myself. I've got to commit to myself, just like I commit to my job or my business. So I went back, even though it was only a 15-minute workout. Boy, I tell you what, he pushed me hard and worked out. But I had tears in my eyes because I've been working out so hard and I don't see the improvements yet. So I have to keep strategizing. It's a long-term process. Okay. Once you pass your license, it's not over yet. Okay. That's the easy part. Now you're going to become a realtor and open the doors to your business. So be patient with yourself. And that's what I had to tell myself. Be patient. So, hey, yeah, good for you getting your trainer license. Yay. Yeah, I know. We shall see. Okay. Maybe one of these days you'll get to see my muscles. All right. Number 15. Brokers are required to maintain office policies and procedures to ensure that, among other things, sponsored sales agents keep current on law changes and their continuing education requirements every 2 years, right? Which of the following is not a goal served by policy and procedure manuals? A, advertising compliance. B, proper record keeping maintenance. What the heck? Proper records maintenance. C, optimized web presence for making marketing listings. Or D, ensuring practicing licensees have active licenses. So brokers are required to maintain office policies and procedures. Which one is not a goal served by policy and procedures? I skipped question 14. Okay, we'll go back. Thank you for that, Jaylene. I got so distracted here. So answer number 15. We'll go back to number 14. Thank you for that. So what is the answer for C? That the brokers are, it's not their job as part of the goals service. I mean, the goals served by policy and procedure manuals. So far, I've got a C from DB Fitness. Hey, DB Fitness, who knows, man? That's what I'm doing, getting fit. Yes, the answer is C, optimize web presence for marketing listings. Hey, that's up to us, right? And of course, we put them on the MLS, and we'll do more than just that for our clients because we're getting paid sometimes good money, sometimes not. It just depends on the property price. So that's not part of the policy and procedures. Okay, you all got that right. Okay, number 14. Gosh, I forgot I had the radio in the background. I leave the radio for my cats when I'm gone and the dog that I borrow to go walking. I hope it's not bothering anybody. Number 14, transaction, listings, and closing files must be maintained from the date of closing or expiration for a total of 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. All right. Everybody's on a roll. Yes, awesome. It is D, 4 years. And I'll make the comment that a lot of questions that ask about how many years this or that, it's usually an even number. Not always, okay? No absolutes, but it's usually an even number. So you could have said 2 or 4 years. So just think about that. A lot of times these answers are even numbers. So it is 4 years. So it's 4 years to keep all our documents, 4 years of statute of limitations for somebody that wants to complain for us, and 4 years to practice real estate before we can consider becoming a broker and taking our courses for brokerage. Oh, and then I made a comment before. The exam for both realtors, salespersons, and brokers, okay, is the same, with the exception that the broker state exam, I believe, has 60 questions instead of 40. For a realtor, it's 40. For a broker, it's 60. And on the national, it's 85 for both realtor and broker. It's just we're graded on passing 56 questions on the national, and on the state it's 21 questions out of 40, right? Even though you're scoring a 70 and you're taking 40 questions, yet the 70 is based on a 70% out of 30, which would be 21 correct answers. So that is correct. All right, y'all. So that's enough state questions for tonight. Just wait, somebody will come in and say, nah, keep going. So, because you have less state questions than you do national. So we run out of state questions quicker than we do for national. So any questions before we call it a night? Okay. And anybody that was watching the replay, I skipped question 14. That's why you saw 15 and then 14 later. Yes, ha ha ha, aha. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. And just keep studying, Anna. Don't give up. I tell you what, in college, when I was going to engineering school, the first year, there's several courses that we take that are weeding out courses. And I failed one, or I didn't pass one by 1 point. And I went and begged and almost cried to the professor, right? It was called networks. So it was networking circuitry. Okay. And he said, nope, I'm not going to give that 1 point. Okay. Because then you didn't learn the material, and you must go back and learn the material. You're a freshman. You're just getting started. Oh my gosh, I went to my car, I started crying, and I puked. I was so sick to my stomach. But I tell you what, I redid it and I got a B or an A the second time around. So that's okay. We repeat until we pass for something that we really want. Okay. All right. You're very welcome, Anna, Jaylene. Thank you, DB. Awesome. Okay. If no questions, I will let you on your way. Remember to, yes, most of you are now on YouTube. So make sure you give me that thumbs up and send me some love. And keep studying vocabulary, questions. If you don't understand a topic, go to the summary at Prep Books. And I have a list of Prep books in the description that you can purchase that I've reviewed the books and I love them because they have questions, not vocabulary, questions and answers explained, plus a summary of the material that you study. Okay. And it's better to study the prep books and watch videos. There's different instructors online, okay, different realtors, brokers that are teaching online. They predominantly focus on national, okay. I, of course, do Texas because I am in Texas, and national. And again, I am with eXp Realty, and eventually all of you are either interviewing now or will be interviewing. So if you'd like to learn about eXp, hey, send me a text or schedule an appointment on the calendar link that's in the description below, and we can chat about it. You can ask me questions. I can talk to you about eXp. It may or may not be a fit for you because we are a cloud-based company, not a brick and mortar office. But where do you buy a lot of things? Amazon. Where do you watch a lot of movies? Netflix, Hulu, whoever, YouTube. All right, y'all. Until next time, catch you later. Next time is Saturday morning.